Russia, on November 26, firmly ruled out making any major concessions as part of former President Donald Trump's proposed peace plan for Ukraine, signaling that Moscow remains committed to its own conditions for any future settlement. A senior Russian diplomat made this statement shortly after details of Steve Witkoff's confidential Russia-related call were leaked to the press, according to a report by Reuters that quickly drew global attention. The leaked audio recording reportedly revealed that Witkoff had advised Moscow on how to approach future negotiations with Trump, offering strategic insight into managing his peace proposal and personal style. Soon after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was said to have given preliminary approval to the peace framework, Russia made its own demands unmistakably clear, emphasizing the importance of securing its strategic interests in the region. Notably, Trump's most recent peace plan, perceived as favoring Russia's position, took many officials in the United States, Europe, and even Kyiv by surprise, sparking debates about its implications for ongoing diplomacy. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov hinted that Moscow might outright reject Trump's peace plan for Ukraine, depending on how closely it aligns with Russia's national security interests.
A few days ago, at the end of last week, at a meeting with the permanent members of the Security Council, our assessments remain valid in the sense that the key provisions of Trump's plan are based on the understandings reached in Anchorage at the Russian-American summit in August of this year. And these principles are generally reflected in the plan. We welcome this, as President Putin said, because after Anchorage, when we thought these understandings had already been formalized, there was a long pause.
Trump's special envoy is now set to travel to Moscow following the unauthorized leak of his phone transcript with a senior aide to President Putin, a development that has raised new diplomatic questions. Back on October 14th, Witkoff held a private phone conversation with Yuri Ushakov, an aide to President Putin, where the two reportedly spoke in detail about the evolving situation in Ukraine. During that call, Witkoff suggested that lasting peace could only be achieved if Russia maintained control over Donetsk, possibly involving a land swap arrangement to balance territorial claims. He also urged Ushakov to publicly congratulate Trump on his diplomatic initiative and to frame their discussions in a more positive and cooperative tone, aiming to build momentum for the peace talks. Meanwhile, after the details of the call became public, Russian officials openly acknowledged Witkoff's planned visit to Moscow, suggesting a continued line of communication between both sides. How did you like the today's releases in the US media? Which ones? There are lots of them. The ones with your alleged phone call with Witkoff, your call with Dmitriev. I talk to Witkoff often, but I don't comment on the content of talks. And what about Dmitriev? I can talk to you, to any person on a phone, same as Dmitriev. Does it have anything in common with? He's a Russian representative. The leaks, releases of your alleged talk. Why do you think it's done? What for? I guess to hinder. It's unlikely that they do it to improve the Russia-US relations which are now being built. It's not easy, but they are being built through these contacts, including ones over the phone. Regarding Witkoff, I can say that a preliminary agreement has been reached that he visits Moscow next week, along with several representatives of the US administration who are involved in the Ukrainian affairs. Was the leak of a phone call fake, or did such a call indeed take place? As I've said, I talk to Witkoff rather often, but the calls are confidential, so I don't comment on them. Nobody should basically. Where do they get such information from? They tap the phone. I don't know. Somebody leaks or somebody taps the phone, but it's not us.